The drama surrounding Caitlyn Clark has always felt larger than basketball. It's the kind of story that doesn't just live on the court, it echoes across headlines. Through locker rooms, into living rooms, and deep into the hearts of fans who see her not just as an athlete, but as a symbol of resilience, drive, and something greater than the game itself. And just when it seemed like the world had gone quiet, when her offseason felt more like a pause than a prelude, Nike decided to flip the switch. In a single moment, 30-second clip reignited everything. A dimly lit gym, the sharp echo of a basketball bouncing in the distance, a shadow moving through the frame, and then, out of the darkness, Caitlyn Clark appeared. No words, no music swelling to tell the audience how to feel, just her lacing up her sneakers, tightening her wrist tape, and staring toward the court with one phrase lingering in the air: unfinished business. That phrase alone was enough to break the internet. For months, fans had speculated about her silence, about her recovery, her training, her mindset. She had pulled back from interviews, skipped public appearances, and stayed off social media longer than usual. People began to wonder, was she okay? Was she taking a break? Or was something bigger brewing behind the scenes? Then, Nike dropped the ad. No warning, no teaser, no announcement, just that single upload, and within hours, became the most talked about moment in the WNBA offseason. The commercial wasn't just a marketing move. It was a statement, quiet, powerful, and deliberate. The kind of message that doesn't scream, but whispers so loudly the whole world turns to listen. Caitlyn wasn't smiling. She wasn't speaking. But her silence said everything. It said she wasn't done, that this wasn't the end, that the story everyone thought had paused was, in fact, just getting ready for its next chapter. Fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, everywhere. Theories flew like sparks. Some thought the ad was shot in the Indiana Fever's training facility. Others analyzed her sneakers frame by frame, convinced they were an unreleased Nike prototype, possibly her first signature shoe. And then there were those who noticed the lighting. The way the court shadows resembled her final game before injury, and the subtle callbacks in the visuals. Every pixel became a clue. Every frame, a promise. Within minutes, hashtags like #ClarkReturns and #UnfinishedBusiness started trending. Sports anchors replayed the commercial on live broadcasts, debating whether it meant her official return. Even rival players joined in, reposting the ad with cryptic emojis. Angel Reese dropped a single fire emoji. Kelsey Mitchell wrote soon. The Fever's official account liked dozens of fan reactions, but stayed silent otherwise, only fueling the mystery more. And that's when the conversation shifted from excitement to obsession. Because this wasn't just another athlete comeback tease. It was something different. Nike doesn't hand out cinematic teasers lightly, not unless they're building something legendary. The parallels were undeniable. That slogan, unfinished business, echoed the same tone used in some of sports history's most iconic campaigns. Michael Jordan's return. LeBron James, I'm coming home. Serena Williams' post-maternity comeback. It wasn't about a player anymore, it was about a movement. And this time, the face of that movement was Caitlyn Clark. For the fans who had followed her every step, this moment hit differently. Caitlyn's journey had never been easy. From Iowa's sold-out arenas to the relentless scrutiny of her rookie season, she carried the kind of spotlight most players spend years preparing for. Every game she played became an event. Every stat line, a headline. And when injuries started creeping in, when exhaustion, burnout, and the weight of expectation caught up, the silence that followed felt deafening. But that's what made the Nike ad so poetic, because beneath its polished visuals was a story of rebuilding, one that fans could feel even without words. Those close to her training camp said the same thing over and over. She never stopped working. Even when she couldn't play, she showed up. Early mornings, late nights, no cameras, no glory. But for the first time in her career, she learned that rest could be as powerful as effort. She started listening to her body. She stopped trying to prove, and began learning to preserve. A source within the Fever organization described her rehab as legendary. Focused, disciplined, relentless, but not reckless. She wasn't chasing exhaustion this time. She was chasing longevity. It wasn't about coming back fast. It was about coming back right. And the results were showing. Trainers who had once seen her push through pain now watched her move with precision and control. No wasted energy. No shortcuts. She'd evolved. The player the world once saw as raw power and fearless aggression had become something sharper, more intentional. A strategist. A survivor. That evolution, that growth, is what Nike captured so perfectly. The ad wasn't filled with highlights or glory shots. It was quiet, almost meditative. A single player alone with her thoughts, preparing for something only she could understand. It wasn't a celebration of dominance. It was a reflection on endurance. That's what fans connected with, the emotion, the humanity. Because Caitlyn Clark's story isn't just about winning games. It's about surviving the storm and coming out stronger. It's about carrying the pressure of being the face of women's basketball and still finding a way to love the game. When Nike released Unfinished Business, the world saw a commercial. But fans saw hope. They saw the first sign that the player who once filled arenas and shattered TV records was ready to reclaim her throne. And Nike knew exactly what it was doing. The brand has mastered the art of timing, knowing when to stir the conversation and when to dominate it. Releasing this ad in the quiet of the offseason wasn't accidental. It was strategic. The WNBA chatter had slowed down. The buzz had faded. And right when the silence became unbearable, Nike reignited it. In doing so, they didn't just promote a player, they revived an entire conversation about women's basketball. The numbers spoke for themselves. Within 24 hours, Nike's YouTube upload hit 1 million views. Their Instagram post featuring Clark crossed record engagement levels, and apparel tied to her name sold out in hours. That's the Clark effect, the ability to turn a simple promotional drop into a global moment, even beyond the numbers.